Yo, what's up everybody? My name is Taylor Werfelman. I'm a photographer and filmmaker here at Native Release, and I've been shooting film for over 6 years now. Here are 3 things I wish I knew when I started shooting film. Number 1, always keep your film in the refrigerator. I know this sounds like a weird one, but all the old cinematographers who used to shoot film back in the day knew this secret and they used it. See, every roll of film has an expiration date, and film is a chemical process in itself. So, to protect your film from fog, discoloration, keep it in the refrigerator. Heat and humidity can be a very bad thing for your film, so this will protect your film and allow its life cycle to last longer. Number 2, overexpose your film by a stop or 2. If you're coming from digital, you're likely used to having the luxury of looking at your photo before and after shooting it. With film, that luxury doesn't exist, and you really get what you get. Oftentimes with film, you're making an educated guess. With digital, if you have to choose, you always lean towards underexposure, because you can always pull up those shadows in post. But with film, it's quite the opposite. You see, with film, you don't retain any of that shadow detail. So if you underexpose your photo, your shadow detail is going to be non-existent. And to pull it up in post, you're just going to get a bunch of grain. With film, overexposing is your friend, because film can retain a lot more detail in the highlights, which makes film so much better than digital in a lot of ways. Surprisingly, film can hold up even when overexposed by 3 to 4 stops. This is why I always rate my film 1 stop under the box speed. This tells my internal light meter to overexpose every image without me having to think through it every single time I go out to take a shot. So if you're shooting Portra 800, rate it at 400. If you're shooting Portra 400, rate it at 200, or vice versa. You can look online for a full list of all the stops of light to know where to rate your film to get a little bit of an overexposed look. Number 3, speaking of metering, the last and most important tip I wish I had known 6 years ago is to always expose for your midtones. The temptation for a new film shooter is to grab your camera with the built-in light meter, point it at your subject, and shoot. But the problem is your light meter is going to be picking up whatever you're putting in front of it. I made this mistake countless times over the years, and I turned a really good image to a really bad image because it wasn't exposed correctly. Metering for midtones might seem like an obvious thing to people who have went to film school, but to be honest, when you're so used to shooting digital, you're used to just looking through the lens to see, okay, what makes this look the best? When it comes to film, it's all about theory and precision to achieve the right settings to capture the photo that you're looking for. I'll be demonstrating this theory a lot more in episode 2 of this teaching series, but it's really important when you're looking at your subject to look at the highlights, shadows, and the midtones, and to take your light meter to the midtones, expose your photo for that, get your settings off of that, and then apply that to the framing that you want for your finished shot. So you don't want a meter for direct sunlight, and you don't want a meter for those harsh darks. You want to look somewhere in the middle. Set your f-stop and shutter speed accordingly and fire away. This is a rule I apply to over 90% of my work in order to get a well-balanced, well-exposed shot. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. But until next time, try out these tips and drop a comment down below if any of them worked for you.